On this episode of Star Trek Universe, a whole bunch of news from San Diego Comic-Con, Starfleet Academy, Strange New Worlds, and Con! Right after these words from our mystery sponsors.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you listen in on two lifelong friends sitting chatting about Star Trek. My name is Matthew Carroll.
I'm David C. Robertson.
Dave, you tell me there's news. Let's talk about the news. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
Yes, sir. Well, they put out this trailer for the Star Trek Con audio series.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they dropped this news that George Takei is going to be playing Sulu, Tim Russ is going to be Tuvok.
Yeah.
And as we've previously talked about, we've got Naveen Andrews from Lost playing Khan. I will post the YouTube trailer from YouTube in our show notes, but I am not feeling this.
It seems super cheesy for whatever reason. I've listened to a lot of audiobooks, and audiobooks have a certain cheesiness about them, and it just this feels. It's got good people, it's got the people, but
it's got Ren Schmidt from For All Mankind as Marla McGivers.
That's cool. And maybe in context, these things won't feel so stilted, but just the trailer itself, it just didn't do much for me. And the guy being like, I am Khan! Like, you don't have to scream. He doesn't scream Khan. Right. That's like Kirk screamed Khan once. Like, that's the thing. And it feels like they're intentionally having, I get why they would try to do that to remind people of that, but it may be great. And I've listened to a lot of Star Trek audiobooks type situations, and I've enjoyed a lot of them, and a lot of them have been cheesy like this, and I still enjoy them. But this one, the trailer did not make me. It didn't get these nipples going.
Right, yeah, no, it seems to be focused on, look who we got to come back and play characters, and I'm kind of like, well, I don't know why Captain Sulu and Ensign Tuvok would be digging into what happened with Khan. I don't, what's the purpose here? It just feels loose, and it feels very thin, and a lot of the acting feels like, oh, we're doing Star Trek. I will do a strange, disjointed voice. I'm not digging it. I'm just not digging it so far. I'll listen to the damn thing. I like Nicholas Meyer. I like Kirsten Bayer. I like David Mack.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's why they're trying to get the good actors playing actual characters from Star Trek series, because they did spend money to get these this Con thing written and produced, like originally going to be a series, and then they had to cut it off and turn it into this. And the weird thing is, I don't know, from what I remember when we were talking about it years ago when it was first announced, it was going to be the Con series of what happened to them on the planet. Right. So in the trailer, they do this thing where they're talking about it we're trying to discover what happened on the planet. I thought it was just going to be hey, it almost has that Enterprise, last episode of Enterprise feel, where you're hey, it's going to be someone listening to the audio tapes of what happened, or whatever of what happened on SETI Alpha 5 or whatever. Mm-hmm. This didn't excite me, so whatever. Yeah, it didn't get me going. I'll give it a shot, though. Over to Strange New Worlds. Yeah.
The showrunners are basically begging now. They say they have a follow-up series for Strange New Worlds. Uh-huh. And they want, they were doing the Comic-Con, and they were like, oh, we started having this idea of those great lost years that exist in all of our head canon and ancillary canon, but had never really gotten much of a chance to be on screen. So what we've tried to do is try to reach back to Pike's Enterprise and instill it in the kind of storytelling values we have today and bring us right up to Kirk's first day on the job. And that is our hope, and that is our plan, and we plan to get you there. And if you like us enough, you just write, Dear Skydance and Paramount, we know you still have the sets. Don't you want to make Star Trek Year 1? They want to do a show. They want to do a show that's Kirk's crew, the Year 1, because they pointed out Where No Man Has Gone Before is the earliest in the timeline we have with Kirk. And it's not his first mission, nor does it feel like Kirk's second mission. in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Henry Alonzo Myers said nothing would make us happier than to be able to continue telling the stories of how Pike's crew transitions to Kirk's crew and how Kirk's crew sets off. Obviously, when we come into TOS, it's not the first day of the job, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want this. Can I write in and say no?
Yeah, I mean, you can. If they made it, I'd probably watch it.
I'll watch it.
I'm on record many times as saying I'd much rather them just go forward and tell new stories.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk and crew are obviously incredibly important to the franchise and to the vibe of Trek, but I don't really need their story told over and over again. I need new stories, new characters, new things to care about, and it feels like it's been a while since I've gotten that. Even Disco was so like the early seasons were so drenched in Spock lore and stuff. They set all this stuff to be immediate prequels, and that it's feeling like prequels.
Mm-hmm. And they also put out a trailer for season 4. It's a season 4 teaser, and it's just a puppet of Captain Pike on the bridge.
Yeah.
Saying hit it, and then coming back and saying, "Oh, did you guys go to season 4 without me?" It's dumb. I don't
sure.
Like it.
I would probably feel similar to you, except those of you who don't know, there's a beautiful Angel episode that is a puppet episode, and I would have thought that was dumb too, but it is the thing that turned me onto that show, and it turned into my entire love for Buffy, Angel, Firefly, like all the way through. Like, I would not have had my love for all the Joss Whedon canon that I do if like it hadn't been for that episode. And so I can't hate on a puppet episode until I see it. Like, we'll see. I thought the singing episode would be dumb because it's like, why are you singing? But they did it. They pulled it off, in my opinion. I liked it.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, I did. I will say I haven't rewatched it, which with a musical episode is something you generally feel like you can do. Musical episodes are rewatchable. I've watched once more with feeling the Buffy musical episode.
Yeah,
15 times. Yeah. But so I can't say that I've gone back and rewatched it forever, but I liked it way more than other musical episodes of things. And the conceit worked for me. So it's the same sort of thing. Like, they're doing tons of stuff on Strange New Worlds that is just like, I don't even want to say pandering. They're just going for weird places, and I'm kind of digging it, which is an episode we're going to talk about on the next episode of this podcast. This week's Strange New Worlds also did a similar, like, let's do a thing in Star Trek that is,
Yeah, I mean, look, they're working with Jim Henson's Creature Shop, and that's fine. Whatever.
That's cool.
I love Smile Time. And I love Ben Edlund, who directed that episode and I think wrote it, maybe, of Angel. And, there was magic involved. I don't know what they're going to do here to make this make sense.
Well, last time we had, it could be anything as simple as, like, Scrubs used a person had something wrong with them mentally that was making them see, the musical. Buffy obviously did Angel. Buffy and Angel have done magic for these types of episodes. Star Trek, they used some sort of weird quantum field or whatever, singing field that cause they can give me some hand wavy science to make it work, or put it in someone's brain or whatever.
Yeah, they can do that. It just also doesn't mean that I'm gonna like it. Like,
no,
I also just kind of feel like, all right, you did a musical like Buffy, now you're doing a puppet thing like Angel. Like, how about you just make good Star Trek?
Yeah,
that seems to be outside of their grasp, though.
I don't know about that, but they are. It does feel more in season 2 and 3 like there's more episodes that are gimmicky. I'll put it that way. Just they're using lots of gimmicks. It's really hard to. I know we're just doing the news, but it's really hard to talk about this without talking about the episode we're going to talk about tomorrow on this podcast. They did Strange New Worlds. I guess spoiler alert. They just did the zombie episode,
right?
And zombie Star Trek. Zombies versus Klingons. I mean, it's fun. It's the kind of thing I would really have fun talking about, or writing thinking up a screenplay about, or whatever. But like actually putting it on the show is interesting. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but yeah.
All right, and finally we got Starfleet Academy. They put out a first trailer for it. How are you feeling about this, man?
I'm surprised you saved it for third because I feel like it's the most meaty thing we've got. I'm just in such a place with Star Trek where I'm just kind of like, okay, show me what you got. Like I have never hated anything they've done, but the last few years have not felt the hits are not as common as the mehs, and there are still hits. Strange New Worlds, I think, is the one that's really hit the most. But Academy, some great people on there. I think it could be great, but I don't really know what's going on. I don't really know why I care. Like I remember when I was a teenager, I read Starfleet Academy books, and I was like, oh yeah, Starfleet Academy. It's these kids when they're younger, and
written by the late great Peter David. He just passed away.
Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't realize that. Oh man. Well, I enjoyed those for what they were,
dragging you down,
but they felt like why do I care about what's going on? It kind of feels it's like the Harry Potter stuff doesn't work for me really well until they get out of the school. You know what I mean? Like they're at Hogwarts. It's like your students learning to do the thing instead of the people doing the thing.
And dude, I skipped a lot of like the little press conference shit where they were just talking about like what this is and like how they were billing it. It was like, this is like Hogwarts in space.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, people love Hogwarts. People love Harry Potter. And it could turn out great, but it's also a weird age. It's one thing if these, like, they just did Skeleton Crew. Star Wars just did Skeleton Crew. Did you see any of that, or do you know about it?
Yeah, I thought it was really good, what I saw of it.
Yeah, I did too. Thought it was great. And it is the charm of Hogwarts is its kids. And Skeleton Crew did that, and they did a great job with it. It's kids dealing with space for the first time, and dealing with the dangers of the Star Wars universe. This isn't kids. This is like young adults, and I don't mean 14-year-olds. I mean like these people are in their 20s. It looks like they just look late, real like 19 to 21, that age, and that just doesn't feel young enough to be novel like those types of stories. Doesn't feel like it'll be whimsical like Harry Potter or Skeleton Crew. It feels like it's going to be, a teen soap opera drama. Just looking at it.
Yeah, I don't know what to think. Like, I didn't see anything that really made me interested in watching the show. Like, it was a lot of, and this is, it's a first look trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at like, okay, yeah, there's Robert Picardo as the Doctor. Cool.
Yeah, that's the thing that hooked me, is that Robert Picardo, I will return for seeing who that character is now.
Yeah, I like Tig Notaro, okay.
Yeah.
And then it's just a bunch of characters I don't care about. And one of the things that annoyed me, and you would think that it wouldn't annoy me, but I have a feeling about it. Like, you have one character walking up to a screen that says, confronting the unexplainable, the fate of Benjamin Sisko, emissary of the prophets. Captain Sisko's fate. Did he die in the fire caves of Bajor? Did he live on in the celestial temple? And I feel like that is just like blatantly, like that is the only thing they're ever going to say about it. Like they are just going to put that there and have like a fucking montage of a cadet looking at that. And like, as like this is like no different than all of the names. I don't know if you saw the names on the wall behind them. If you pause it, it's mostly just old Enterprise people. It's like Crushers and Rikers and shit. It's like just a bunch of, it's like everybody on the Enterprise ever.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but no, I'm not surprised.
I don't believe they're going to do anything with Captain Sisko. I think they put that there to make people like me go, oh, holy shit, I need to watch this show because they're going to tackle Sisko. They're not going to tackle Sisko.
They're going to bring in a Voyager cast member, a Voyager character, and that to get the Voyager folks, and then they're going to put in a DS9 Easter egg to make us think they're going to do something. But you mentioned being annoyed. I feel like you tend to be annoyed by sort of like young, I don't know, energetic, youthful characters in Star Trek. I think in general, I don't know. Yeah, or in general in shows. I think when I talk to you about shows, a lot of times you just don't like the ones that are sort of youthful and don't have a lot of seriousness about them. And I feel like this show is going to be full of that. Like sort of youthful inexperience and whatever.
It's not necessarily the youth part of it or the energetic part of it.
You hate the young.
I hate the old as well. No. It's when they go out of their way to make them as I don't know. Star Trek as of late has gotten into a real habit of taking that which used to be annoying to the fans, like a Wesley Crusher, and then perpetuating, like just taking that and copying and pasting that, like what they are perceiving as a neurodivergent stand-in, because they think that's what they're doing. And they just make the most intelligent but obnoxious character they can make.
Okay.
And I feel like that's what they do. Like, they just make them as cringe as hell. Huh. And then they throw like 3 of them in the room together, and that's like the entire crew for some episodes, and you're just like, they're all like making little weird quippy jokes, and they're all like rabbit trailing, and I'm like, they should have Adderall in this century. Like, I as a neurodivergent person, I am aggravated watching. I'm like, I feel like I'm watching, like a parody of neurodivergency,
Yeah. I get that. I really do. And I just, I think you generally don't like people that are overly affected, or whatever. Too much weird affect to their personality.
It just starts to feel gimmicky.
Yeah, totally. I see that.
Yeah, I generally feel like most Starfleet officers should have their shit together.
Right. Which, that's why I wonder how you'll feel about this, because it is, at least there's the plausible deniability, to lack of a better term, of like, they are Academy students. You know what I mean? Like, if they're a little more emotionally unmoored, a little less fitting into the chain of command, some of them may not make it through the Academy. Some of them may wash out. They may be the characters that were like, oh, that guy doesn't belong in Starfleet. And you're like, 2 seasons later, right, because he's not in Starfleet anymore.
Right.
There might be room for playing with that, at least making it more less cognitive dissonance when you look at those things.
Well, one of the things that I've always that I've had specifically with Discovery, I think, one of my problems with those characters has been that they would introduce these characters and then not know what to do with them, and not give them a real purpose or an arc.
Yeah.
And, Tilly had an arc to some degree, but she was definitely in that category, I think. But, I have some hope that Starfleet Academy is supposed to be about them, but I suspect just by virtue of having General Vance and Holly Hunter and the Doctor, I'm like, y'all gonna give them more meat, ain't you? And these kids are just gonna be real annoying.
Well, that's the thing that worries me. It's this trailer feels very much focused on these young characters, which, like, it's the Academy show, it should be, but I am just excited about, the only people I'm excited about are the older actors that are returning.
I saw a real quick cut of Maslany.
Oh, really? I missed that.
Yeah. It looked like she was sitting by a window it looked like a kid was in her lap or something.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, there's a kid in the cast on IMDb I was just looking at. That's the thing. Tatiana Maslany, Holly Hunter, Paul Giamatti, like, those are the names that I'm like, yeah, this is all going to be that. Robert Picardo, I'm going to be really distracted by that. And if you're talking about Hogwarts, let's say, that is a lot of what the Harry Potter world is. It's like, you deal a lot with the teachers of Harry.
Yeah.
And they really are big characters in the books. So maybe they will find that balance that will work for us.
Yeah. And we got Holly Hunter playing this Chancellor of Starfleet Academy and the Captain of the Athena, which is the school and the ship. It just ports in San Francisco and then just like flies up and goes off into space when they need to do that.
That's neat.
So I don't know. Like, what did you think of this half Klingon, half Tellarite character Giamatti's playing, who's like walking down the halls and whistling the Star Trek theme?
we'll see how that is in context, but like it is weird to have diegetic sound inside of Star Trek playing the Star Trek theme of any type.
I've seen a lot of fans melting down over it and saying that they're making the Alexander Courage theme into a joke. But then I am on the side of, as much as I've disliked this trailer, I'm on the side of, hey, back in the original series, like they would have Starfleet parties and you could hear the theme playing in the background. Like I think the theme, the dun 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 dun, that kind of shit. And the original Alexander Courage theme, dude, they play that in parties and shit. Like I think that thing that he was whistling was probably like I could say it might be a Starfleet recruitment tune or something.
Sure. Absolutely.
Would you like to know more? Dun 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 dun. Sorry, now I'm over to Starship Troopers.
Yeah. I that totally makes sense to me. Could be that. Like I think it could work. I don't really have a problem with it, but it is
weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's the look what looks like the villain likely of the thing. I think he's been announced as the villain. So that's it's weird.
Yeah, and he has some connection, they said, to one of the cadets, an ominous past connection to one of the cadets. So we've got, they talked about some of the characters here. Sanya Rosta as Caleb Muir, an orphan with a troubled past, an unlikely Starfleet cadet. These are the cadets, by the way. Karim Diane, Jaden Cragg, a Klingon cadet who dreams of becoming a medical officer. Carice Brooks is Series Acclamation Mill, a.k.a. Sam, the first of her kind to ever attend Starfleet Academy.
I don't want to interrupt you too bad, but you said that first character is this orphan character. And I am looking at this shot of Tatiana Maslany, and it's her on some other world, it looks like, holding a child and looking up at the stars. And so just immediately I think that she's going to die in the first episode, and she's going to be that orphan's mom.
Yeah.
Like she's going to die, and
from
that's going to
orphan black to orphan mom.
Yep, exactly. She's going to be the orphan mom, and like that's so we're not going to get much of her in the show, and it's going to be whatever. She's just going to be part of the backstory of whoever that kid is.
Yeah, I mean, she still might be in flashbacks, like teaching them lessons and shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I just love her, and I want her as much as possible. She's going to show up in Star Trek. I want her to be there.
I get it. I like her a whole lot. George Hawkins is Darum Raimi, an aspiring captain from a wealthy homeworld. Bella Shepard is Genesis Lithe, an admiral's daughter determined to make her own name in Starfleet. Then we have non-cadet characters. Zoe Steiner as Tarima Sadal, a Betazoid and daughter of the president of Beta Z. Robert Picardo, of course. Tig Notaro. Oded Fair playing Admiral Vance. Recurring guest star Gina Yashir as Commander Lura Thok, a Klingon Jem'Hadar hybrid, who is the Chancellor's first officer and cadet master. Yeah. And a recurring guest star and Academy Award nominee Paul Giamatti as part Klingon, part Tellarite Nus Braka, the season's villain with an ominous past connected to one of our cadets.
I'm guessing he killed Tatiana Maslany.
Maybe.
It's just my quick...
Yeah. I like it. Turning into Chit. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Back to it. I mean, that's a good theory, dude. That's a good theory. He killed Maslany, and he was the reason that kid is an orphan.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I like it.
That's what I was thinking. That's what made me think of it when you were talking about the orphan with the past connected to Giamatti. No. It just says that he has an ominous past connected to one of the cadets. The Giamatti does. It doesn't say any of the cadets specifically which one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I may have blended them all together, but I think it's a pretty good theory. Mm-hmm. But the merger has been approved. Paramount and CBS are one. Yep. And I don't know what that means for Star CBS. Trek. I continue to not know. My guess is Starfleet Academy might get canceled before it actually gets to do season 2. I don't trust that these people are going to keep Star Trek going. Yeah. And I kind of am okay with that based on what I'm seeing.
I don't know.
I'm not. I'm not. I don't like the idea of the world not having Star Trek, but I do think that, like, the world will always have Star Trek. We have it. It exists. And I do think that I don't really want to water down Star Trek. I know there's a lot of people that want exactly that, like a politically watered down Star Trek, and I'm really worried about CBS. I'm pissed at CBS, just pissed. The Colbert Report being canceled after getting pressure from Donald Trump and this lawsuit, and after he criticized them, I think it spells terrible things for the future of the country, and this is the kind of stuff that happens in whatever, like authoritarian governments that, like, oh, you criticize the government, we can't have that on TV. And I know that's not, we're not there yet. There's lots of other shows criticizing the government.
Did you see Jay Leno talking about how late night comedians need to stop being so political because they're favoring one side, and why cut off half your audience?
Yeah, I'm sure Jay Leno, you freaking
like, it doesn't matter how many years pass. It's just fuck Jay Leno.
Yeah, fuck Jay Leno. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously very partisan at this point. I wasn't always, but Donald Trump came on the scene and is lies with every breath he speaks. And so it is fascism. It is pure fascism. And he is now controlling the media through that we are allowed to consume. And he's about to destroy one of my favorite franchises one way or another, either by shutting it down or by causing it to be politically chained. And I don't care if Star Trek is
I don't think it'll be silenced, but I don't think it's going to be a politically chained thing. I think it's not profitable for Paramount thing. Like this billionaire who just took over, I think that's all it is. Like he's going to come in and go like, yes, this is the biggest thing we own. It's not Mission Impossible, but it also costs more than anything else to make.
Right? Sure, they might, but it's that Jay Leno thing of like, we need to. Let's bring Star Trek back, but let's make it a little less about the space socialism and a little more about zip, zip, bang, bang, and let's get the right wingers back into it. Bring out the laser guns. Like, that's what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting them to be like Star Trek is right wing now. I'm expecting them to like, let's soften all the edges of the political discourse, and let's sanitize the show so that it protects the billionaires that own it. And that fucking sucks.
There is an argument that when Star Trek was at its best, it was in a much more censored, politically middle zone where the creators had to be creative about the liberal socialist propaganda they were spewing.
Sure.
And I feel like it was a more creative time. I feel like they did a much better job of it when they were being creative about how they were saying
stuff.
Well,
that's fun and interesting. What I'm getting at is the idea that these if the wrong people own the content and they break down the stories that challenge power, then it sucks. And that's all I'm getting at. I just think that I don't disagree with you. I was trying to say this a minute ago. I don't even mind the idea of Star Trek being less overtly political. I think that Star Trek has always, a lot of times in the old original series, it's like, McCoy and Spock are arguing and they're on two opposite sides of this debate, and they both have a point, and that's interesting. I don't like Star Trek that is so homogenized to the point that it's like they aren't having interesting ethical discussions. So that's not what I'm getting at. I'm getting at a Star Trek that starts to dumb it down to the point where, like, well, we can't challenge people's ideas. We can't challenge people's politics. Let's just make a space show with the iconography of Star Trek that's just about lasers and stuff.
I think that's where they've been, though, since Discovery started, though. They barely talk. It's like they don't want to even have a character on there who might be considered still a good guy and a little right wing. So we're not going to have like a McCoy and Spock conversation. Like, most of the time they stick to the agreed upon political stance of the franchise, and they have just devolved into zip, zip, boom, boom, pew, pew a lot of the times.
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm not saying that that's not the case now. Like that is somewhat the case, but that's what I freaking hate.
Yeah,
and that's my least favorite stuff. And I'm always looking for those shining moments where they do something truly interesting and truly explore something ethical, truly explore different sides of an issue, and like really give me something. And you know, so yeah, like I'm in a place where I'm not wanting the show to end by any means, but I am like, I don't think that a billionaire who has completely different interests than spreading what I think are the ideals of Star Trek, which is like cooperation and help, literally socialism, and like making sure that all people are taken care of. I don't really think that, you know, it's going to be great. If they're, I think that Donald Trump is about as far from the Star Trek ideal as you can get.
Sure.
Like to me, the thing that Star Trek taught me, the thing that I care most about, and I think the thing that pushed me so politically far away from the right, and the way that they kowtowed to Trump as a absolute liar. And because Star Trek taught me, I grew up on this shit, and it taught me that the truth is the most important thing, even if it's politically like not what you would think, or like if it's making you question your ideals. The truth, finding out the truth of a thing is what's important. Like so much of early Star Trek is about like you gotta actually investigate and discover what's true, and that's got to be your guiding star before you can make any other decisions. And Donald Trump and his entire ilk have lied to the point that our entire society is split into two. And I'm not saying there aren't liars on the other side, but it is not close like to who's lying more. And the type of lies and the changing, the gaslighting and the changing of our entire like way we can think, because we don't have the truth. Half of our country doesn't have the truth, and like they either don't cover stories that are critical of Trump or in that silo, or they have a completely different take on what these stories mean, even when it's completely illogical and the facts are left out. They don't look at data. It is dark. And like, to me, Star Trek above all is about that truth and like finding the right answer and like working together to find a good answer, even if we all have disagreements about who believes the right thing to do is. The captain's supposed to take in all that information and then come up with the best answer to help the most people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the worst, just the furthest away from what we have right now. And so people that are kowtowing to Trump owning Star Trek pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah. I don't have anything to add. I'm just like, yep. I'm gearing up for my King of the Hill. Like, for it dropping.
Yeah. Oh man, we were on a Multiverse News a few weeks ago. We had a King of the Hill story, and you know, I read them, and then they're supposed to like shout out their name. We're doing like a lightning round, and so I read a story, and that they're supposed to shout out their name, and instead of allowing them to wait to shout out their name, I was like, and Jay Scotty will take this in his best boomhauer. Like without warning, and Jay Scotty was like, "All right, dang on, man, I like tried it. It was pretty good. Jay Scotty did a pretty good job.
Yeah. It's just fun to try to do Boomhauer.
Yeah, I know you used to do it all the time.
Oh yeah, I still do.
Oh yeah,
bugging Bethany with it. I've been rewatching King of the Hill. Tell you what, man, I'm like dang old stupid man.
Well, all right, what else we got?
That's it.
That's the news. Though you sent me those 3 or 4 news stories, and I thought that was like just some of them. You know what I mean?
No.
A lot of times you'll have like weird interview content to bring, and I'm like, okay, and we go through a lot of stuff, but that's great. We're gonna get out of here because we're actually gonna try to record our next episode, the zombie Star Trek episode, after this. So join us for that tomorrow. We'll probably drop it in tomorrow or Wednesday, and we'll be back very soon on Star Trek Universe. Jolan True.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.